Tiberius Julius Caesar, the second emperor of Rome, reigned from AD 14 to AD 37. His rule is often overshadowed by the more infamous reigns of emperors like Caligula and Nero, but Tiberius's legacy is marked by his complex character, political savvy, and tumultuous relationship with the Senate and Roman society. Tiberius was born on November 16, 42 BCE in Rome, the son of Tiberius Claudius Nero and Livia Drusilla. His mother, Livia, would later marry Augustus, the first emperor of Rome, cementing Tiberius's position within the imperial family. Tiberius's early life was shaped by the political climate of the late Roman Republic. His father was a supporter of Julius Caesar, and after Caesar's assassination, Tiberius found himself involved in the shifting allegiances of the time. Initially, Tiberius was groomed for a military career. He served with distinction in various campaigns, including in the Balkans and along the Rhine frontier. His military prowess earned him the respect of the Roman legions, but his path to imperial power was complicated by family dynamics. His mother's marriage to Augustus raised Tiberius's profile, but he was often overshadowed by Augustus's grandsons Gaius and Lucius Caesar. After the untimely deaths of Gaius and Lucius in 2 BCE and 4 CE, Tiberius became Augustus's primary heir. However, this succession was not without difficulty. Tiberius's relationship with Augustus was strained at times, partly due to Tiberius's natural reserve and his tendency to keep to himself. Augustus's decision to adopt Tiberius and give him the imperial succession was motivated by pragmatic considerations rather than affection. When Augustus died in 14 CE, Tiberius succeeded him as emperor, though not without controversy. His adoption by Augustus had been arranged under duress, and Tiberius had reluctantly accepted the role of heir, preferring to remain in semi-retirement on the island of Rhodes. Yet upon Augustus's death, Tiberius's ambitions were thrust to the forefront, and he returned to Rome to take the imperial throne. Tiberius's ascension was smooth in terms of formalities, but the political situation in Rome was far from stable. The Senate, which had enjoyed some independence under Augustus, now found itself navigating a new imperial reality. Tiberius, although cautious and even distrustful of the Senate, recognized the importance of its support and sought to maintain an appearance of republicanism by avoiding the excesses of autocracy. He assumed the title of princeps, meaning first citizen, a title that Augustus had used to emphasize his leadership within the framework of the Roman Republic, rather than the title of king or emperor. Tiberius's reign was marked by a strong and pragmatic administrative approach. He sought to consolidate the gains made by Augustus and solidify the position of the emperor within the political structure of Rome. One of his major achievements was the continued expansion of the empire. Under his leadership, Rome maintained its dominance in the Mediterranean, although there were significant military setbacks, such as the disastrous defeat of the Roman legions in the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest, 9 CE, where 3 Roman legions were destroyed by Germanic tribes. This loss prevented further Roman expansion into Germania. Internally, Tiberius faced difficulties maintaining the loyalty of his subordinates. His relationships with the Senate were often fraught with tension. While he generally respected the Senate's role in governance, Tiberius was deeply suspicious of its members, particularly after the death of his son Drusus in 23 CE. This event caused Tiberius to retreat further into seclusion, and he entrusted more power to his praetorian prefects, notably Sejanus, whose influence over the emperor would prove disastrous. Tiberius also implemented a series of legal reforms strengthening the role of Roman law, particularly in regard to treason, maiestas, which was used as a tool to eliminate potential threats to his reign. The harshness of the treason trials and the alleged use of delatores, informers, to root out conspiracies led to an atmosphere of fear and distrust in Rome. This period saw the execution or exile of many prominent individuals, a legacy that would later haunt Tiberius's reputation. The most notorious chapter of Tiberius's reign was his relationship with his praetorian prefect, Lucius Aelius Sejanus. Sejanus rose to power in the early years of Tiberius's reign, effectively becoming the emperor's chief enforcer and consolidating control over the Praetorian Guard, the elite unit tasked with protecting the emperor. Sejanus's ambition grew over time, and he began to position himself as a potential successor to Tiberius. In 31 CE, Tiberius discovered Sejanus's treachery. Sejanus had been plotting to eliminate Tiberius and assume the throne for himself, and when his conspiracy was exposed, Sejanus was arrested and executed. His supporters were also purged, and his downfall marked a shift in the emperor's reign. Tiberius, already reclusive, withdrew further from public life and took residence on the island of Capri in 26 CE, where he remained for the remainder of his life. This period of seclusion, combined with the paranoia fostered by the Sejanus affair, contributed to the reputation of Tiberius as a tyrant. Though there is little concrete evidence to support the more lurid tales of his debauchery, such as those chronicled by the historian Suetonius, the climate of fear and suspicion surrounding his rule certainly contributed to his later vilification. Tiberius died on March 16, 37 CE, at the age of 77. His death marked the end of a complex and controversial reign. Tiberius was succeeded by his grandnephew Caligula, who, by contrast, would be remembered as one of the most notorious and extravagant emperors in Roman history. Tiberius's legacy is one of ambiguity. On the one hand, he was a capable administrator who maintained the stability of the empire and ensured its continued dominance. His reign was not marked by the massive territorial conquests of some other emperors, but he preserved and strengthened the imperial system. On the other hand, his later years, marked by isolation, paranoia, and the rise of imperial informants, tarnished his reputation. Historically, Tiberius is seen as a ruler who in many ways embodied the contradictions of Roman imperial power, suspicious of others, yet able to retain control over an empire of unprecedented size, capable of effective governance but prone to cruelty and distrust. Though Tiberius did not possess the charisma of Augustus or the notoriety of his successor Caligula, his reign was crucial in shaping the future of the Roman Empire. Through his complex character and rule, he helped lay the foundations for the Julio-Claudian dynasty that would dominate the Roman world for decades to come.